All right, let me ask you something. Do you ever worry about being seen alone in public? Or maybe feel like being by yourself is, I don't know, a problem that needs to be fixed? Well, today we're going to dive deep into that because we're exploring Renuka Gavrani's book, The Art of Being Alone, and it completely flips that script. It's all about turning that alone time from a source of anxiety into your greatest superpower. This quote, wow, it gets right to the heart of everything, doesn't it? The book draws this really sharp line between loneliness, that awful trapped feeling like you're missing something, and solitude. And solitude is totally different. It's the freedom of being completely at home with yourself. So our goal here is to break out of that cage and start building our own home. And look, we need to be clear. This isn't just some fuzzy, feel-good topic. The stakes are really, really high. In fact, former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy dropped this bombshell statistic. The damage that loneliness does to your health is the same as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. I mean, just think about that. That's how critical it is to understand this and to conquer it. So the big question is, where does this fear even come from? We're not born feeling this way, right? It's something we learn. It's like this cage that society helps build around us, and it starts when we're super young. Seriously, just think about it for a second. The one person you spend your entire life with is yourself. So why is being alone with that person often so terrifying? It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? Well, the book's answer is pretty straightforward. We have been conditioned to feel this way. Just picture the high school cafeteria. We've all seen it. Gavrani uses this really powerful image of the student eating alone, sitting by themselves. And what's the immediate thought? They get labeled. A weirdo, someone to feel sorry for, or maybe even make fun of. We see that scene and we absorb it. We learn this lesson deep down. Being alone means you failed socially. Yeah, this quote just nails it. It's not just a passing thought, is it? It digs in and becomes this core belief. We become absolutely terrified of being seen that way, of being that person, the one nobody picked. And that fear, it starts running the show. It dictates our actions. And oh man, the consequences are huge. Just to avoid being that person alone at the table, we start putting on masks. We turn into people pleasers, right? We say yes to stuff we totally hate. We shut down that little voice inside us. And here's the crazy irony. This whole desperate scramble to fit in, it often leads to the worst kind of loneliness. That feeling you get when you're in a crowded room, but you've completely lost track of who you even are. Okay, so you've got this social conditioning from when we're kids. And then pop culture comes along and just pours gasoline on the fire. Let's dig into how the stories we see every day, movies, TV, you name it, just reinforce this fear and keep us locked in that cage. I mean, how many times have you seen this exact movie plot? The main character's life is a mess, they're broken, they're all alone, and then, boom, a hero, a quirky new best friend, or a soulmate swoops in to save the day. The message is always the same. Someone else is the answer to what's wrong inside of you. And what that does is it drills this idea into our heads. You need a savior. You're not whole on your own. You're powerless by yourself. And that is such a disempowering message, isn't it? It teaches us to constantly look outside for someone to fix us, instead of looking inside for our own strength. All right, so we've laid out the problem. Society has basically taught us to be scared of being alone. But now we get to the good part. This is the big shift. This is the turning point where we're going to learn how to completely reframe this whole experience. This right here is the absolute key. Loneliness, that's a negative perception. It's a feeling of lack. It's like looking in the mirror and only seeing what isn't there. But solitude? That's something else entirely. It's a positive realization. It's knowing that being alone doesn't mean an absence of other people. It means the presence of yourself. It's a state of fullness, not emptiness. And this quote just sums up the solution so perfectly. The cure for loneliness isn't finding more people to hang out with. It's about building a better relationship with the one person you can never get away from, you. It all comes down to becoming someone you actually genuinely enjoy spending time with. Okay, great. So how do we actually do that? How do we build that relationship with ourselves? Well, the book gives us a really clear 3-step game plan for reconnecting with who you really are. So let's break it down. Step 1 is self-acceptance, and this means all of you, not just the shiny, happy parts. It's about accepting the messy bits, the so-called dark sides that society rejects. Next up, self-knowledge. This isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a lifelong commitment to actually paying attention to your inner world. And finally, step 3, and I love this one, define who you are not. If you're struggling to figure out who you are, start with what you stand against. Knowing your no's can give you a really solid foundation for your yeses. See, once you start doing this, once you reconnect with yourself and actually start to enjoy your own company, that's when the magic really happens. Your solitude stops being this thing you have to just get through, and it transforms into your ultimate tool for growth. It becomes your superpower. And if you look back through history, you see this pattern everywhere. For the great creators, solitude wasn't a punishment, it was a requirement for their genius. Think of artist Georgia O'Keeffe. She literally moved to the desert so she could be, in her own words, deliciously alone with her art. Or the inventor Nikola Tesla, who straight up said, "Be alone, that is the secret of invention." They knew it, the best ideas don't come from a crowded room. They're born in the quiet. And that, right there, is probably the biggest takeaway for us today. In this crazy, hyper-connected world where our phones are buzzing 24/7, solitude is the new luxury. It's one of the only places we can find real, deep focus. The ability to just shut out all that noise and connect with your own thoughts, that is a genuine superpower in the 21st century. So the book gives us this awesome, simple action plan to get started. First, stop trying to fix your entire life at once. Just pick the one big thing that's causing you the most stress right now, just one. Second, set one clear daily action you can take on it. Not some vague goal, but a concrete, I will do this kind of step. And third, sync with your nature. Work in a way that actually feels good to you. If you're a night owl, work at night. The point is to make this process enjoyable, not a punishment. I just love this quote because it captures the two sides of this perfectly. The scary news is, you're on your own. And yeah, that can feel, well, scary. But the cool news is, you're on your own. And that's where the freedom is. You're in the driver's seat. You get to write the script. You're the star of your own life. And you don't need anyone to come save you. So this all brings us to one final question, and this one is for you. When you finally make that shift, when you turn that lonely cage into a sanctuary of solitude, it becomes this wide open blank canvas. It's your space to invent, to create, to discover who you really are. The only question left is, what will you choose to create?